Although I was merely a damaged waste product of my origin, all major universities were scrambling to recruit me. In response, I laughed maniacally and said, "You are not worthy." I turned around and joined a rubbish technical school, just because my non-blood-related younger brother feared my return. He colluded with my girlfriend of 2.5 years to frame and slander me during the martial arts examination. Not only did it result in my origin being damaged, but also led to the cancellation of my admission by the school. I was even imprisoned and died in chains. At this moment, I am reborn on the day the martial arts exam ended. A law enforcement officer in uniform coldly said, "What else do you have to say? If you don't have evidence to prove your innocence, your student status will be revoked, and you will spend the rest of your life in prison." Upon hearing this, I cursed inwardly. Couldn't I have been reborn a bit earlier? Where can I find evidence now? Just when I was in despair, a mechanical voice echoed in my mind. "Detected host has awakened the demon god system. Strength can be gained through slaughter. Congratulations, host, for receiving the novice gift pack. Demon god bloodline. Original injuries have automatically healed. Demonic path secret technique, soul-searching art." Hearing the system's voice, I fell into deep thought. Then I looked up at Su Yingshu. "Su Yingshu, don't you have anything else to say? What did our 2 years of relationship mean to you?" Su Yingshu cried even louder upon hearing this. "Don't expect me to help you fabricate evidence anymore. These years, you have either hit or scolded me, relying on my affection for you. You took the cultivation resources that rightfully belonged to me. Now, the predicament you find yourself in is entirely your own doing." Lu Heng, standing aside, looked at me with pride. I can testify for Su Yingshu. I saw it with my own eyes. My father is Lu Zhenyuan, one of the 8 great guardians of Qingzhou City. I guarantee every word I say is true. The law enforcement officer glanced at Lu Heng, unexpectedly realizing Lu Heng's significant background, and then looked at me, ready to arrest me. I immediately retorted angrily, "Empty words without proof. You believe whatever they say? If you have the ability, show the evidence." Lu Heng and Su Yingshu were both stunned for a moment, not expecting me to defend myself. Before they could speak, I continued, "Empty words without proof. I can also say you to colluded to frame me." Su Yingshu felt a pang of guilt for a moment, and cried even louder. Lu Heng was slightly stunned, but quickly regained composure. "I saw it with my own eyes. How could it be false? My father is one of the 8 great guardians. Do you think I would lie to wrong you?" Here is the continuation of the translation into English in a novel style, with the numbering maintained. "Do you have any evidence to prove you didn't do these things?" Hearing this, I just chuckled softly. I don't have evidence, but I know the soul-searching art. Just as I was about to speak, the system's voice echoed in my mind. "Congratulations, host, the demon god bloodline has fully integrated. Please cleanse the impurities from your own bloodline to increase the purity of the demon god bloodline." As soon as the system's voice faded, a terrifying aura emanated from my body. The sky instantly darkened with clouds looming over the city. This scene left everyone in the martial arts plaza in shock and fear. In the next second, amidst everyone's astonishment, my cultivation level soared from Cha and Blood Realm 4 stars, directly to Cha and Blood Realm 7 stars. And in the sky, a demon stood tall, emitting endless demonic energy. In the next second, the image of the demon god disappeared, turning into a stream of bloodlight and merging into my body. Innate awakener. It is an innate awakener. Surrounding martial arts examinees couldn't help but start discussing. Su Yingshu's expression turned stiff. For a moment, she didn't know what to do. Lu Heng's face turned extremely ugly. He knew very well what an innate awakener meant. If I demanded a thorough investigation of this matter, even the higher-ups in China would start paying attention. However, he was confident that he hadn't left any evidence behind. The Minister of Culture instantly appeared by my side, staring at me in shock. "Have you awakened the innate power?" I was stunned for a moment, then nodded. The Minister of Culture looked ecstatic, grabbing me in excitement. He didn't know what to say for a moment. Suddenly recalling something, the Minister of Culture asked nervously, "Your origin?" I hesitated for a moment, then shook my head. Turning to Su Yingshu, "I only want to prove my innocence now." Lu Heng and Su Yingshu's expressions turned unnatural, and they couldn't help but take a step back. Lu Heng stiffened his neck and said, "Prove your innocence? Are you implying that I wronged you? Do you have any evidence?" I sneered. "Of course I have evidence." In the next second, I turned into a shadow and charged forward. No one expected that in this situation, I would actually make a move. Lu Heng reacted the fastest, throwing a punch to leverage his retreat. But Su Yingshu wasn't so lucky. She was directly punched and sent flying, falling to the ground, coughing up blood. Before she could react, I grabbed her by the neck and lifted her up. Lu Heng shouted, "What are you doing? Trying to silence her by killing?" The scene instantly turned chaotic. The law enforcement officers wanted to rush in. But in the next moment, I used the soul-searching art. Su Yingshu's memories were directly projected. Those who were just about to take action stopped in their tracks. Everyone was stunned by this scene. Ayu stood still, wary. Lu Heng's expression was one of terror. He saw his own figure appear on the light screen. It was when he went to find Su Yingshu. Don't think that by showing these flashy tricks, you can deceive us and get away with it. I propose we execute this person immediately. Let's behead him and display it to the public. As Lu Heng spoke, he was about to rush forward, but the Minister of Culture stopped him. Su Yingshu was still howling. She was terrified, truly terrified, but it was already too late. On the light screen, the scene of her meeting with Lu Heng appeared. The voices followed, echoing clearly. "What benefits will I get for helping you?" Lu Heng smiled faintly. He then took out a bottle of cha and blood pills and replied, "Help me frame him. I want him to be doomed forever." Lu Heng's voice echoed, causing everyone's expressions to change drastically. Next was the detailed conversation between Lu Heng and Su Yingshu. Every detail was included. Quickly, the light screen shifted to the scene of them slandering and attacking me during the martial arts examination. The light screen stopped as I retracted the soul-searching technique, but I did not release Su Yingshu. The martial arts square was deathly silent. Lu Heng glared at me fiercely, gritting his teeth as he shouted, "Who knows what methods he used to fabricate this? He claims it's a soul-searching technique, and we should believe it?" Listening to Lu Heng's words, I let out a cold laugh. Gripping Su Yingshu's head tightly, I lifted her up. Power surged from my hand, crushing Su Yingshu's skull instantly. The scene fell silent. All eyes were on me. Even the Minister of Culture was stunned. He didn't expect me to do such a thing. I didn't care at all. I recalled a rule from the martial code that falsely accusing a naturally awakened one is punishable by death. So killing her was justified, right? At that moment, the system's voice rang out. Detected host killing a Che and Blood Stage 3-star martial artist. Killing value +3. Before I could question the system further, a little fairy beside me spoke up, defending Su Yingshu. "She was your girlfriend and you killed her? Even if she falsely accused you and damaged your essence, the deed is done and she apologized. What more do you want? Can't you be more magnanimous? Aside from the facts, haven't you made mistakes too? Sometimes it's good to look at your own issues. After all these years, have you been diligent in your training? Have you worked hard to earn money? Stop always blaming others." I delivered a crisp slap to her face. Then I apologized. "I accidentally hit you." "I already apologized. You won't be mad, right?" The girl, enraged, lunged at me. "You dare hit me, I'll kill you. Do you know who I am?" Do you realize how much psychological trauma this slap will cause me? The next second, I slashed her throat with a knife. The lively little fairy instantly met her end. Then I turned to look at Liu Hang, walking towards him with the knife. Liu Hang was terrified by my demeanor, wanting to retreat but unable to move. He could only scream and shout, "How dare you kill me? My father won't let you go. You, an abandoned one, dared to touch me? You know, my parents adore me. If you dare harm a hair on my head, they'll kill you." I grinned. Just as I was about to strike, the Minister of Culture finally reacted, quickly stopping me. Whether Liu Chen is guilty or not is for the law enforcement department to decide. You must not act rashly. I paused and looked at the Minister of Culture coldly. Are you pleading for him? When I was falsely accused, when my essence was damaged and I couldn't cultivate, who the hell spoke up for me? The Minister of Culture was speechless. For a moment, he truly didn't know what to say. Ruining someone's martial path is like killing their parents. This enmity is not insignificant. You've already killed Su Yingshu. How Liu Hang will be dealt with will be decided by the law enforcement department. It's not up to you to decide. Hearing this, I said nothing. Just gave the Minister of Culture a deep look. I was about to speak when hurried footsteps approached, looking in the direction of the sound. Several people in military uniforms were walking quickly. A middle-aged man in the lead strode forward, his sharp eyes scanning the surroundings. What happened here? Before anyone beside him could speak, Liu Hang was the first to open his mouth. "Uncle Yang, save me, this kid wants to kill me." Recognizing the man as his father Liu Zhenyuan's old comrade, one of Qingzhou City's 8 guardian generals, Yang Long. His cultivation was also at the Marquis level. Yang Long's expression changed drastically upon hearing this. His gaze became incredibly sharp, landing on me. "Kid, you better give me an explanation." Feeling the overwhelming murderous aura emanating from Yang Long, I remained calm and spoke directly. He falsely accused me, causing damage to my essence. Hearing my words, Yang Long's expression also froze. This was an irreconcilable enmity. Seeing this, the Minister of Culture explained the earlier events to Yang Long. After listening, Yang Long's expression turned grave. For a moment, he didn't know what to do. After a long silence, Yang Long finally spoke. "I know this is unfair to you, but since it has already happened, we can't let Huaxia lose another genius. So I ask you to let go of your hatred, for the greater good. Rest assured, the military will compensate you. If we can find a Demon King's plant, your essence injury can be healed." I listened and merely chuckled softly. What if I'm not willing? My heart was filled with hatred. That could only be washed away with blood. Yang Long didn't expect my attitude to be so resolute. I said, "Liu Hang cannot die." I clenched my fist and looked at Liu Hang, seeing the smugness in his eyes, with not a hint of remorse. "Fine, but I want to accuse Liu Hang of framing me for cheating in the martial exam, causing my essence damage and inability to cultivate. I demand his expulsion and the revocation of his admission. From the beginning, I knew killing Liu Hang was impossible now." Hearing my words, Yang Long and the Minister of Culture looked extremely serious, saying nothing. I had expected this, and was not surprised at all. Then I looked at Liu Hang and said coldly, "I challenge you to a life and death duel. Do you dare accept?" Liu Hang's expression changed. He didn't dare accept. Yang Long said coldly, "Don't be ridiculous. Since you can't give me fairness, then I'll fight for it myself. If I lose, then I'll die. At least it will save you all some trouble." How could Yang Long not hear the sarcasm in Liu Chen's tone? But he had no other choice. Liu Hang absolutely could not be harmed. Yang Long then turned to the representatives of the major academies and said, "Gentlemen, Would you be willing to do the military a favor? The representatives from the major academies remained silent. No one responded. Yang Long, looking embarrassed, was about to speak again when an elderly man, appearing to be around 60, stood up and looked at me. Since no one is willing, Qingzhou Technical School will step forward. Young man, would you be willing to come to our Qingzhou Technical School? Although it's not as prestigious as other universities, we won't shortchange you on cultivation resources. Hearing this, I was taken aback. He was practically a nobody now. Yet someone was still willing to take him in, even though it was just a technical school. Based on my past life's memories, I knew Qingzhou Technical School had never developed because beneath the school was an abyss, and my god demon body grows stronger through slaughter. The abyss was the best choice, so I agreed immediately. The old man laughed heartily, very pleased, and threw me a badge. From now on, you are a student of Qingzhou Technical School. Report in 3 days. Yang Long clasped his fists and said, "Thank you very much. I, Yang Long, will remember this favor. In the future, I will definitely find a Demon King's plan for him to help him recover from his injuries." The old man glanced at Yang Long, not giving him a pleasant look. There's no need for such words. You think you can obtain a Demon King's plant? Even Commander Mu wouldn't dare boast about that. I simply can't stand seeing you all bullying a child. Yang Long's face darkened upon hearing this, and he looked at me, saying, "Since you have joined an academy, let's put this matter to rest." Lu Hang looked at me smugly, as if to say, "What can you do to me?" I didn't even glance at Yang Long and continued, "Either accept my life and death duel challenge, or revoke his student status and cancel his admission." Yang Long instantly became furious. "You should know who Lu Hang's father is. How long are you going to keep causing trouble? This is the best option. If you continue this nonsense, don't blame me for what happens." I ignored the enraged Yang Long and turned to Lu Hang. "If you're a man, accept my challenge." But how could Lu Hang dare? He was terrified inside. I sneered with disdain and said coldly, "Is this how Lord Lu taught you? He raised such a cowardly weakling. Someone who dares to act but not take responsibility." Yang Long was furious upon hearing this. "Impudent! How dare you speak of Lord Lu like that? How can I maintain the military's dignity if I don't subdue you today?" He raised his hand to suppress me, but my eyes turned red, and the knife in my hand trembled. The next second, I struck directly. "I've tolerated you long enough. Who do you think you are? Giving me alms and expecting my gratitude? Screw you!" The sound of iron clashing rang out. The knife in my hand shattered into pieces, and a deep, bone-revealing wound appeared on Yang Long's arm. Blood dripped onto the ground. Yang Long, looking at the wound on his arm, angrily retorted, "You dare wound me? You must not be spared today." Yang Long unleashed his full Marquis-level power, attacking me. The next second, the old man from Qingzhou Technical School stepped forward, blocking Yang Long's attack. He is now a student of Qingzhou Technical School. "It's not your place to handle this," Yang Long shouted fiercely, unleashing his Marquis-level aura. "Sumu, step aside. This is not something you can withstand." But Sumu did not step aside. Releasing his own Marquis-level aura, the two forces clashed, and the next second, a tall, black-clad figure appeared in the arena. "If you're so full of energy, go roll into the abyss."